We lost track of time.
Yeah. Was it all
That's
of us
all right.
that did, or just me?
Well, we
no,
didn't prepare
no.
properly.
No, Mike and I have been sitting here chatting for like the last 8 minutes, and then all of a sudden we look down and it's like, it's 11:31. We're not recording yet. YouTube studio, we gotta go. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Website 101 Lunch Bytes. The Website 101 podcast is a podcast where we talk about web development and managing websites, and sometimes developer stuff, and sometimes design stuff, and sometimes business stuff. And then twice a month, on the first and third Tuesday of every month, we do this Lunch Bytes YouTube live. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
That was a lot of information to spit out quickly all at once.
It was a good
Welcome,
preamble.
everyone.
Yes. So I am Amanda Lutz, for those who don't know me. And with me, next time you clear your throat, just mute.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Gross.
Sorry.
Boo.
Yeah.
So that was Mike, who was just uncouth.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And then with me also is Sean.
Who's late?
Hello, Mike and Sean. How are you both?
Hi. So
I'm good. Sean, you weren't
Amanda's
late.
queen of the day, and I'm late. And Mike is uncouth.
That's right.
You weren't late for this. You were just late for our setup, I think, maybe.
Our prep, yeah.
whatever.
I walked.
cares?
I popped in, and he was like, "Oh, let's press the button." It's like I was really last second.
It's okay.
Apologies.
You've been later, so
That's
well
true.
done.
Yeah, I'm not so good at managing my time with this thing.
With this thing that you created, that you
With
started.
important things,
Yes.
you're fine with important things, but not this. This is.
But
like-
those guys.
No, this is
meh.
important. I just lose
Meh.
track of the time when I'm in the zone.
Amanda
working.
who? Meh.
Yeah. Look, I have an excuse for why I'm disheveled and all that, and I'll tell you why. Last
You
night
share.
at 2:30 in the morning, the smoke alarm in our house went off. Now you're asking what set it off? I don't know. To this day, to this moment, I have no idea what set it off.
What,
There was
what
no
about
smoke.
Possibly low batteries.
Okay, well, this house we're living in, as you know, we haven't lived in it long, and it's a brand new system and all that. There's no low batteries. In fact, the things are all wired together so that if one of them goes off, they all go off, right?
Oh, nice.
And this isn't just some beep kind of thing. No. This thing. Again, I was in a dead sleep, of course. It starts the loudest chirpy noise you can possibly imagine. I was worried the neighbors were going to hear it. Like it's
Oh,
that
wow.
loud. And there's a strobe light, like a just brilliant strobe light to wake you up if you're, I guess, hard of hearing or deaf or something. You know, you can see. And a human voice says, "Fire, fire," over and over.
I'm surprised you didn't have a heart attack. Holy crap.
I almost did, because when I'm in that state where I'm like dreaming and then I suddenly I was like, what in the hell is going on? My wife was in the shower because she couldn't sleep, so she had a shower, and we were like, was it the steam from the? But I had to go, and the last time this happened. You know, you're cooking sometimes and smoke sets off the thing. That happened once. I pressed the button, and the voice said, "Too much smoke to disable alarm. Fire, fire," and kept going. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Anyway,
Yeah.
this time it
I don't like the
did
fact that
go
you
off.
can't disable it.
Well, I went up. I eventually got to stop. We're like, I don't see a fire anyway. I checked the whole house. Then as I'm about to go to bed again, I noticed one of them, the light on it is pulsing orange, which it never does. And I was like, what is this? And I pressed it, and it said, "Previously detected smoke. Now running test alarm. This will be very loud."
Oh.
And then it says, "Press again to cancel." And I was like, pressing again. No, don't do it
Yeah.
again. And then it turned green and went back to sleep. And then I went back to sleep. But oh my God, it was disruptive.
I
and I don't know what's
woke
up.
up your son as well.
It kind of did, but he's a teenager, so he was just like, what? And then we were like, don't worry, it's fine. The dog was going nuts. She thought we were all having a party all of a sudden. It was like,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be
anyway,
laughing.
And then it was hard to get back to sleep because my adrenaline is going. Right?
Yeah,
Anyway, that's the story.
that's a mess.
Sorry
Yeah.
to hear
So,
that.
yeah, that's all right. At least there was no fire. That's the important thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, especially since you just moved in there. Last thing you need.
Yeah, that's right. I don't need that. That's right.
And all of the renovations that you did to move in. Could you imagine
Yeah,
having to redo
exactly.
them now?
Hey,
All right. So, yeah, go, Sean.
so I have a question for you guys. I sent a support request to SoulSpace about a freeform issue I'm having because I don't know how to troubleshoot it, and I was wondering if maybe you guys had some ideas while I wait to hear from them. So, building out a form, and that needs custom templating because there's like conditionals about what fields can appear and whether they're required or not. Everything's working locally perfectly. All the fields drop down and retract as needed. Send it to staging for approval, and it keeps getting a message at the top, which is a freeform message, not the custom validation message that I made, that says there's an error submitting the form. That's it. Nothing. This has also started happening on the live site with a completely unique form, different from this one. I have no idea how to troubleshoot it. Nothing's appearing in the console. Do you guys have any thoughts?
When you say it started happening on the live site, do you mean that form existed before on the live
No.
site and now?
No, it's happening on another form, which we're replacing with this new form. Because it's the way they're working. They want new fields and conditionals so it displays fields depending on what you select on a radio.
But is it
But
possible that it's a bug in an update from SoulSpace or something?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Have you looked at the logs?
Well, this is why I'm talking to you guys, because I didn't think about checking the logs.
Oh, you
It
should
would have. That's right. It would have logs. So.
check the logs.
Oh my God.
and then
what such a rookie
that's,
mistake.
brain fart. It happens. And then if the form is so it's failing on the form submit, what is supposed to happen on the form submit? Is it supposed to send an email notification to anybody?
Yes.
Is
But it
the
doesn't
email-
it doesn't even get to successfully submit. There's a free
Okay, but
form error that comes up.
Okay, I get it. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
If it's a problem, if regardless as to whether or not it's gotten to that point, if you don't know where the error is happening yet, see if you can send any other emails through
go into
Craft.
the control panel and send the
Right.
test one and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I-
it might be, especially if you're using something like SendForm, or if something, even if you're just using SendMail, which you shouldn't be doing, if something on the server has changed, then maybe that's the problem. But at least, even if it's not, it's like one thing that you can check off. And when
That
you
is a
do get
great idea.
contact with support, you'll be able to say, well, it's definitely not this because I can send email using the test.
Yeah, I did ask the client to go into their SendGrid account and check if there were any error messages, and nothing and there was nothing there. But when we get off this call, I will go in and see if I can send a different form, or
And
the
it
test
sounds.
form.
It also sounds like if it's only on staging and production, but it's fine on local, it sounds like it's an environment related issue.
Yes.
So
yeah,
did
and
you double check all the ENV variables and all that? I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird because it just started happening out of the blue. But it's possible that it's a bug because we did upgrade to a newer version of Freeform to get some
Yeah.
new features that were available. But I'm not sure why I'm not seeing the same issue locally. So but I think it's a good idea. I will definitely try that out.
Yeah. I agree with Mike. Probably a server configuration, or even maybe so a client contacted me recently, and their hosting company wanted to move their site onto a new server. And I was like, okay, fine. And they're not using Craft. They're using this other e-com CMS type platform. But when they moved the site over, a bunch of things obviously started breaking because nobody Nobody talked to the developer. And I'm like, well, for one, it's the new server probably has a different version of PHP, might have a different version of MySQL. If the version of the ecom system that you're using doesn't support that, yeah, there's going to be errors. Another problem that they were having was the API call to Canada Post to get like shipping rates was also not working. And it's like, okay, well, if it's a different server, it might be a different IP address. And if the Canada Post API is like blocking everything except for this requests from this one IP address, like that's going to be an issue
actually
too.
a smart configuration is that you don't want to open up your API key to other
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but it's things like this that like it would be nice if you could just move something to a new server, and it would be nice if you could just upgrade a plugin, and it would be nice if all of these things just worked, but they don't.
No.
Yeah, that reminds me. I also had a different site where we were using the Google Maps plugin, and I did my quarterly maintenance, updated it, and all of a sudden the map was not working in Firefox on iOS.
Jeez.
Wow.
And so I was like, what is going on? I couldn't figure it out. Went to the GitHub issues. Somebody else had submitted the same thing a few days earlier. So I bumped it, and then I DM'd the developer on Discord because he's usually really good about these things. So I thought maybe he didn't catch it. And he had not gotten the notification or whatever. And it took him a while to get the fix. And the fix involved him removing a new feature because there was a conflict.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
it-
And it
it
finally came in
happens.
today, and I pushed it up. My client confirmed that everything's working now. And so the developer has said, oh, I'm going to try and get this thing back. But, I mean, obviously, I don't need that. I just need my client site working.
Yeah.
That kind of DevOps stuff with server networking and that is my least favorite part of this
Oh,
fucking job.
100% agree.
I agree.
It's just, I will do anything. I'll much rather, work with clients or difficult people in a particular company. I don't care about any of that. This stuff I do care about. I don't like doing it,
I would rather do my taxes than do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Oh, I know,
Um,
it's coming up.
Right.
Let's not.
Hey, Amanda, can I ask you
Hey.
something? You recently, I don't know if you want to talk about this on the show, but you recently built a cool app for camping of, putting kids in camps, and you can share it with your friends and you can get them to add their kid, and then they'll see where your kid is staying and when on a calendar. You showed it to me. It was amazing. We just had March break. Did you by chance have it in effect, or is it still
No.
early days?
No, it's
Oh,
still
that's too bad.
super early days. Because I like so many other people, I run into I should just do this one more part to it. I should just do this one more feature. I should just
Yeah.
add this one more thing. And I keep needing to remind myself, better done than perfect. And so this week, I think the goal is that this week to just email all of my parent friends and like with you, share the staging link and just be like, check it out.
Test it out.
Pretend you're planning the summer. And even if it's just
Yeah.
like camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, just like add some stuff. And if you could give me some feedback, that would be great.
Nice.
I really should get off my butt. and
No,
do
I
that.
mean,
Is
I
this
can't
something
believe
you're
you've
planning
even
on
gotten it this
monetizing?
far.
I mean, for one, I would like it to just be helpful to people, and for two, it could be monetized by having like camps in the area promote theirs.
Sponsors.
Hey,
Yeah.
yes, kind of sponsors. Yeah, that's a good way of putting
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I don't think I would ever want to like charge other parents to use something like that.
No,
Yeah,
but that's a good idea. Get
I like that
camps to
sponsorship
pay.
because then at least you're not paying any server costs at that point, and maybe you can buy yourself a drink once in a while.
Maybe I should. I think that a lot of sites now
Or
have
you can
those
buy
too.
your friends a drink too.
No, but I think I've seen a lot of sites lately that it's like, buy our team a coffee. And so, I would be
Yeah.
okay with adding something like that, but I don't think that I would want to make it paid for the parents. Just because, God, we pay for enough when it comes to our kids.
And camps are not
That's for
cheap
sure.
already.
Camps
The
are
last
not
thing you need
cheap
is another
already.
$10 charge to coordinate with
That's a
your
good
friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely. I saw something neat on Reddit today. I've got it all set up. I'm going to share my screen. We've talked about what this is related to a bunch of times in the past, imposter syndrome. It always comes back. It's always getting us. And I saw this. Somebody shared this, that you should embrace the imposter syndrome. Revel in the fact that you have fooled everyone. You are a trickster goddess. You are the imposter child for deception and clever ruses.
The imposter child. I like that. That's cute.
Yeah. It tickled my funny bone.
The trickster
Yeah.
goddess.
Yeah.
Call me Loki.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good, well, not that you tricked people, but it's a good way to sort of spin it to say like you're succeeding, at what you're doing. So even if you feel like you're an imposter, you got this far sort of thing. So you must be
Yeah.
doing something right almost, you could read it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. That's exactly how I took it. So for those watching in the future, it's okay to feel the imposter syndrome. It comes up. It hits literally everybody. But keep working at it. And, no matter what level, what stage you're at, you're higher than someone else. You're more advanced than someone else. Somebody else is looking up to you and seeing the stuff that you've done and thought, damn, how can I get up there? So we should all just maybe be a little bit easier on ourselves.
Agreed.
That's right.
100%.
That's another way to look at it is treat yourself the way you would treat other people. You probably wouldn't tell another developer, hey, you suck. You don't belong in this industry, So why say that to yourself,
Yeah, exactly.
And we do have an episode about imposter syndrome on our podcast. I think it was episode 1 of season 7 or something, maybe, if I recall. It was with
I'm gonna
Kevin
go check it out right
Kevin
now.
Nicholson.
I do
There you go.
remember with Kevin. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and it's great.
Uh,
Was that right? Doesn't matter. Listen,
matter.
last week I talked about a plugin, or we talked about how I was looking for previews for the matrix blocks, and I found one, and I've got it running here. Do you want me to share that and walk you guys through it a little
you
bit?
said in Slack that you were really liking this plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let me see what I can do here. All right. Okay, so this is the plugin. It's called Matrix Field Preview by Timmy Mahoney. It's a paid plugin, which is fine. I mean, I'm starting to like that idea because it means it's supported and, it's not going to just...
Less
break all the
likely to
time.
be abandoned. Although, I mean,
Right,
that
right.
does happen, but it's less likely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So here's here's a demo site that I'm working on. So this is a page, and I have like a title. We talked about how you could do this with conditional fields and whatnot. So let me show you how I'm doing that with the hero. If I go into preview here, it's very work in progress. But like, if I were to pick, say, this, because I have it set up so you can just choose with this radio field which type of hero section you want. So this is not a matrix at all. This is something different. But you can pick your color. I can make it red, right? I put an intro, and it shows up here. So this is one way. Oh yeah, and then if I switch it to large hero image, there's more fields that show up. There's an error because I don't have the image, or actually it's the color thing. Let me see if I can make that go away. Yeah, no, it's because what's it looking for? Tree color?
Yeah, it's on
Do you
line
see that?
48. Line 48. I think
Yeah, I
you're
know,
missing
but
a
is it in
field.
this?
No.
It's
I
not
think
here.
you're
Yeah,
missing a
okay, so I
field.
don't have it. Whatever. Anyway,
Sorry,
this is how I have...
just quickly. In your user profile for this craft site, you can change a preference so that it will always have the field names displayed.
Yeah, I do that.
Oh
by
yeah,
default on
oh
all
yeah.
my sites.
Like here, you mean? Yeah, I have that. I just turned it off for this because it looks better when they're not there for this demo.
It does.
But
It does.
I
but
do
you were
have
asking
that on all the time.
You were asking, where's tree field? And I was like,
Yeah,
how am
you're
I
right. That's
supposed
right.
to know?
It would have easily shown up.
It would've.
Well,
Anyway,
like
sorry.
here's what I was trying to show you. So if I go to the cutout version of the hero, there's no image that I have to upload. But if I switch to large image with cutout, suddenly there's an image field, and I can pick, this one, and so whatever, there's the thing, and blah blah blah. Okay, so that's how I had the heroes set up, which I like. And the other benefit of this is if I ever wanted to switch this, all I have to do is press the button. Whereas if it's a matrix block, you'd have to delete the block and create a new block, right? Which is a little bit, but here is my content builder, right? And it's set up to use this plugin. So as you can see, when I click this, here's all my little matrix stuff. So these are designs that I've made of matrix blocks. You take a screenshot, you said for this block, what screenshot are you going to use? And you give it the thing. So I can add, one of these, and it gives me, and it also shows me this cute little thumbnail of what it's going to look like. And in this case, I pick a color, I pick an image. This is just a default image that shows up if you don't. And then you put in your text and whatnot, right? You can also search for stuff. So I can go, copy. If you have a lot of blocks, it'll strip down to just the ones that are whatever. Now, the one thing, these are the names of the blocks, and it says you can use Markdown, and this information here is supposed to be a bullet list, but it's not respecting that. So it might be a couple of bugs here and there. And I also noticed that this button here, when I first installed it, it said add entry. And I was like, I don't want to say add entry for a matrix block, but you can't change that text. I had to go into the source files of the thing and change this to say add a content block. So there's some usability things that it probably needs work with, but all in all, I really love this interface.
That's nice. You know what that reminds me a lot of? In WordPress, there was a editor called WP Bakery. And,
yes.
And you would say, add the new content block, and you could add a heading, and you could add text, and you could add an image, but each of them would have the little, just a quick little graphic to also show what it was that you were adding. And you couldn't customize it like this. Obviously, this is a lot cooler, a lot more advanced, but especially with the search and being able to narrow it down, it's given me flavors of that. Yeah,
I know that I've seen that in WordPress before, where if you add an accordion element, it shows you a little graphic of an accordion or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's cool. But I do like the idea that on a per site basis. So when the admin they're like, oh, I know, all the pages have one or more of these elements. I'll just pick the one that I'm looking for. The other issue is down below. You see there's some ones that are missing. I wish I could choose to exclude some matrix blocks from this preview thing, because I don't want to put these particular ones. I don't want to have thumbnails.
Sounds like a feature request.
I think it is already been submitted by someone, that feature request. I'm pretty sure.
Time to bump that request up.
Exactly. Anyway, there you go.
I have a question about your site here. I do like the matrix blocks, but your color field is a drop-down. What field are you using for that? Because I use a third-party plugin that's got color swatches instead of a drop-down.
This is a native craft field now. It's not a plugin.
Can you go to the field edit?
Not going to do that.
Field edit.
Nope, because if I do that, it'll show the client site. Not going to do that. Sorry.
All of the rest of it.
All right, fair enough.
Well, then, but you already stopped sharing. I was going to say, why don't we just go to the Craft 5 documentation and see the list of fields and just show Sean which one it is?
That's a good call. I could do that. Yeah. Okay,
I'm so full of good ideas today.
You're on fire.
I'm full up to here of good ideas.
Let's see. Somebody else do it. Somebody else look it up.
That's fine. We can do it later, or I can do it later. Is it the native color field? Because I thought that was just like a color picker, not where you pre-select colors.
Oh no, you can do both.
It's the native one. Yeah.
It's the native color. Yeah.
Oh,
and you know what? In fact, I'm using that on my camp. on my
been
camp
using
calendar.
these third-party
right?
ones because
Yeah.
originally you didn't have this option, and I didn't know it had became available.
Yeah,
So now I
I'm
gotta
even
stop
using it.
using
I'm
third-party
even
ones.
using it on the front end as well, as part of a front end form.
There you go. Color fields.
And so you can set the value to like your Tailwind
Yeah, you pick
class
these.
or a
Well, no,
hex code
it
or-
seems it's just a hex code as far as I can tell. That's the value that it
Alright.
accepts because the hex code is what generates these little dots. So it doesn't
Right.
have a lot of control about this is the value. But I think it's just, what's the word you want and what's the hex code, and it generates this little drop down.
All right, yeah, that's doable. The plugin I'm using, which I can't remember the name of it gives you the option for the hex code, which gives you the little color swatch visible, and then a
Yeah.
value, and I set that equal to the Tailwind class that I'm using for it.
Yeah,
So if
I've
the
used that.
hex gets adjusted a little bit, it doesn't matter because it's still the same class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that before, and I do like it better than this, to be honest. I don't really like this interface. The one you're talking about is like you click the circles, right? Like there's circle dots
Yeah,
of colors.
there's two different
Oh,
ones, and I started
Button
using
box does that.
Oh yeah.
I started using this new one that is all configured in a PHP config file.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like using the GUI of the control panel a little bit better.
So I'm doing the same. I'm obviously using Tailwind as well, like you are. So what I do is I just do what you described, but at the template level. So I have a switch statement that says if the hex code they've selected is this, then use this Tailwind class, right? So it's the same deal, but you just have to do it in template. But yeah, I like the fact that it's a native field, anyways.
I do too, which is why I was kind of curious about that.
Yeah, they built it in, which is cool. Yeah, I think it might be a Craft 5 thing specifically.
I think
but
so.
anyways, yeah. Anyway, so that's the plugin review. Maybe we should talk to that guy, see if he'll come on the show and talk about that cool plugin.
I think that's
For
a
the
great
matrix
idea.
blocks.
The matrix preview.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although I'm still, like I say, like this idea that I have with the hero section where you pick the radio buttons instead, like I'm still in two minds about it because I didn't go through this, but with the matrix blocks I have, a lot of them have a title, like a heading, block of text, an image, and pick a color. Like that's basically all the fields that all of them have. They just get displayed differently in the template. So I could just have an extra field that's a radio button, and then you just pick what display you want, but all the fields remain the same. So I don't know. Like I said last week, it's like there's a million ways you can do
There is,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Again, I did something like that, I think again it was using button box. Where it was like instead of having the radio buttons where you could like select just the text description, it had like the actual little teeny tiny thumbnails that I made that would just have the different
Yeah.
layouts. But I like
That's
that
my
you've got, I
plan,
mean,
too.
but every page needs to have that hero section. So you don't need to make it a matrix, like just have the fields there. It's one less thing for the user to click on, I think.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's a required thing for every page needs to have that hero. So to make it a thing you optionally put in with Matrix is like kind of weird.
Well,
Although you
you
can
can-
make
you
it
can-
required, right?
You can force the matrix field to have a minimum of 1 rows.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Which
I
is
don't know.
what I do on my sites, but I'm kind of liking this radio button idea because it is much more common that the fields are all the same and it just
Displays it
way it's
different.
displayed, or maybe and now since Craft 4 whatever 4 point something, the conditional fields, you choose the radio and now it displays the different field options and hides the other ones.
Yeah.
Instead of like you said, oh, now I have to delete my whole matrix block,
Yeah.
which is how it works on my sites currently, just because of the way it was the best approach
At the
when I
time.
started that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to revise that for future builds.
I would think so because because the hero section, the user probably wants the same content on it. Maybe they just want to change the look of it. So to have to like copy it and delete it and make a new one and paste it in and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And I think if you're doing that conditional stuff, when you switch from one to the other, it doesn't delete the the stuff that was saved in the fields that are now hidden. So if you switch back, your old content will still be there.
That's true.
so.
That's true. If you use the
think
same
you're
block,
right.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else? It's
No,
12.
I think that's all good.
I think it's good.
Awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with us when we're tired and late and all kinds of other
Rambling
stuff.
and all the other
You can
things.
always watch later.
Speaking of watching later, I do want to point out that I'm looking at the analytics of the YouTube channel right now, and our number one most viewed content was the lunch Bites from February, and the average duration was 45%.
That's
Oh,
pretty good.
Nice.
So some
That is
people
pretty
are
good.
going back and like watching entire lunch
Nice.
bites. So if that's you, feel free to join us live at some time.
That's
That
right.
would be
We
great
hope
to
so.
see you.
Yeah, jump in and add something in the comments, and because we monitor the stuff. If you say something in
Yeah.
there, we'll respond. Yeah, happy to talk
Exactly.
about it.
Exactly.
Later, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.